Hello, hello, everybody. If anybody is watching, but it doesn't matter because we're here. So, a little bit of a special stream today because honestly, I went on vacation 2 weeks ago. I came back. I kind of went back to work and was kind of living that life, right? Now I'm back. So I'll have another stream this weekend. But I really wanted to jump on today because one, Bad Bunny is a really, really bad bunny and has a lot of people upset apparently, which is interesting to me. Everybody seems to be mad, although I will say that I haven't seen anybody that I know personally, and I live in a very red state and I have a lot of far right friends. Um, I haven't seen any of them complaining about El Conejo Malo. So it's interesting. I'm seeing a lot of media and I'm seeing a lot of, the normal agitators, the hater club, like anybody does anything, we gotta be upset about. So long story short, Bad Bunny gets chosen for the Super Bowl and pull up here. He will be performing in the Super Bowl, and most of us who tune in for the Super Bowl are probably tuning in for the show. I know I'm wearing a football jacket right now, but let's be honest. Now Bad Bunny to me is phenomenal as a musician. I think that even if you don't even have to like everything that he says or does. I mean, who out there likes everything that your musician or a celebrity says or does? Please raise your hand, because it's not like, who would do that, right? These are people that are famous, they're highly artistic, whatever it may be. With at least with Bad Bunny, he's actually talented. And it goes to show, even though not everybody can speak Spanish, obviously a lot of people bought his record. So this is somebody who is American by birth. He was born in Puerto Rico. He was raised in Puerto Rico. He does speak Spanish as his first language. Most of his music is in Spanish. He started in like trap rap. I used to tell my brother-in-law, I don't understand what that means. It's reggaeton. It all is tra tra tra. But it really wasn't. His music ranged from like this trap reggaeton to collaborating with Grupo Frontera from Mexico, to collaborating with so many Colombian reggaeton artists that honestly, I think, let's say, what, about 7, 8 years ago, you could not hear a song out of Colombia without Bad Bunny jumping on it. Bad Bunny has collaborated with Usher. It's one of my favorite bachatas, strangely enough. So he has collaborated with Usher. He's collaborated with Aventura. He's collaborated with Drake. I mean, this man is a collaborator. He literally unites with other groups within this amazing country of ours that I know this is crazy for you, for some of you out there. We are a diverse nation. We used to be told that our diversity made us all amazing and unique and that we could contribute to a greater pot. Now we have convinced ourselves or deluded ourselves that our diversity sets us apart from everybody. And because we have so many different buckets, because this is America, and heaven forbid anybody just get to be American. No, instead, everything is a bucket. Everybody's in a bucket. Some of us have multiple buckets. That's called intersectionality. It is frustrating to me that we are told more how we're supposed to identify than ever enjoying who the hell we actually are. If you're offended by Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl, like, I don't even know what to say to that, because it feels so diluted. Like, what are you upset about? Like, let me think about every single one of the last, let's say, 10 Super Bowl the last 10 years of Super Bowl performances. Okay, so last 10 years of Super Bowl performances. Go here. It's not the best visual, but it's what I had when I decided I was going to jump. Let's go down to the last, we're in 2025. Let's go to the last 12 years of Super Bowl performances. I also want to state that in the 90s, Gloria Estefan and the Big Miami Sound Machine performed at the Super Bowl. Gloria Estefan is Cuban. I know she's white and she's more acceptable in the range of skin colors for Latinos, but she also sang in Spanish. I don't remember anybody being upset about that, but okay. We didn't have the internet back then. I'm gonna give it that. Shania Twain, no doubt, in Sting. Then we had Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake famously. This was really fun because Justin Timberlake got to like walk away from this, and this Super Bowl completely destroyed Janet Jackson's career, even though she is far more iconic, far more talented than Justin Timberlake could ever hope to be. And I'm not going to call out the obvious one on this, but let's take a wild guess on why Janet Jackson was held more accountable than Justin Timberlake was. There, it can be color, it can be sex. It can be both. All right. Paul McCartney the next year. Football fans, do you listen to Paul McCartney? Does anybody listen to Paul McCartney that plays football? Okay. Then we had the Rolling Stones. Okay, I guess. All those people that are mad about like the last 8 years they probably loved these shows. Then we had Prince. Okay, Prince. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Okay. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Bands. Okay. The Who in 2010. Black Eyed Peas with Usher and Slash. Madonna, aka the Crypt Keeper. Beyonce in 2013. I'm shocked Beyonce was at the Super Bowl before Jay-Z took over the Super Bowl performance show, because that's actually what's happened in the last 6 years, is that Jay-Z and Rock Nation have been given that after the Colin Kaepernick debacle and everything that gets done, I guess, this is the way to pay it forward, to make it up to them, make it up to everybody, I guess. Okay, cool. So now we get, this is horrible on the titling here, Bruno Mars, Red Hot Chili Peppers, okay, Katy Perry with Lenny Kravitz and Missy Elliott, Coldplay with Beyonce and Bruno Mars, Justin Timberlake, Lady Gaga. Now, this is a funny one, okay? Does anybody notice on all of these performances, aside from Beyonce, that it seemed like you can't have just one solo performer, right? Unless it's a band or something big. So there's obviously been like changes in the way that we handle the Super Bowl performances. Now, Super Bowl 2019 with Maroon 5 and Travis Scott, Big Boy. Feels random because Big Boy's from Outkast. Now, the Super Bowl in 2020 was Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. To me, that was phenomenal. I don't think Shakira should have had to share the stage with Jennifer Lopez. Hey, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Bad Bunny went on stage. So he's already been at the Super Bowl. He's already performed. J Balvin came on stage. They gave the stage to other Hispanic artists. Now, Shakira and J Balvin are Colombian born and Colombian artists, but Jennifer Lopez and Bad Bunny are American. They are American. Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. It may not be a state, but they are still a part of the United States. And also, fun fact, Puerto Rico is a great place to go live if you are like a big stock market or crypto bro and you don't want to pay taxes on your capital gains. Go live in a beautiful island with some a lot of booty shaking. Yeah, we move our hips, y'all. All right. A lot of drums, a lot of happiness, a lot of cookies, a lot of rum, a good ass time. It is an amazing culture in this country. It's something that we should appreciate and not bash every time or talk down to them, because we seem to want to make people feel less than so we can feel better. Do you feel better about yourself when you're bashing other people? Let's take skin color out of it. Let's just say, I don't like the color of your hair. I don't like the way you speak. I don't like the way you walk. I'll do a DMX. I don't like the way he looks. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he walks. What is it? What is the qualifying factor for you to accept people? Tell me, what the hell did Bad Bunny do to warrant this level of disgusting behavior from fellow Americans? Simply proving what he already stated. Our culture contributes to this country. We are 20% of the United States, whether you like it or not. We're not going anywhere. The census doesn't count illegals. So that 20% are American. It is disgusting the way that Americans speak about fellow Americans. The way we talk about the left, the way we talk about the right, the way that we're constantly finding someone to scapegoat and look down on. Shame on you. Now, I want to just for some amazing context here. Actually, one moment. I am going to go right here. Going over into kind of what really probably has me more upset is the fact that I am seeing conservatives acting like snowflakes and, quite honestly, embarrassing themselves. I don't understand why everyone is so mad. You liked us last election. You liked us when we started voting for you, right? For years, the far right is saying that they were leaving the borders open so that all the brown Hispanic people can come in and vote Democrat. And yet we are showing that we are going to be voting conservative. Mostly, I mean, at least when we get a president that actually talks about us like we're people and a population of this country that can get their head out of their ass and realize that not everybody looks like they're allergic to the sun. That doesn't make you a quintessential American. We all came from somewhere else. That's the beauty of this country. I don't understand why we still are made to feel as though we don't belong here because some of you have decided that we don't look like your textbook. What textbook? You don't look like the natives that were here either. And technically, the people that you're so vehement about deporting look more like the natives of this land than you will ever look like. So maybe check yourself for a minute and cut it out. Stop talking about us like we're animals. Stop talking about us like we're all criminals. Stop it. I hate voting with a party where the extreme of it looks down at me and looks at me like I don't belong here, or has the nerve to ask me how I speak English so well. It is disgusting. Or my liberal friends asking me if I'm scared I'm going to get deported because Trump is rounding all of us up. I was born in Arkansas. Please deport me. Deport me back to Arkansas. And that's my liberal friends. There's one thing I will say this, and I'm so sorry to say this to the majority of the United States population, the white population. It's this mindset that you're the only people that came here, that you're somehow to be the only people that deserve to be here, that you're the only people that speak English, that you get over yourself, diversify, educate yourself. It's not that serious. It's not that hard. Go to Miami, go to LA, go to New York City, stand in any street in New York City, and you will see every single colored person you could ever imagine from every country of the world. It makes this country amazing. We are diverse. We are beautiful. We are a mosaic of cultures and people from everywhere. Stop acting like you're the only ones with the right to this land. Stop acting like you're the only ones whose culture has a right to be shown. Now, I do not think it is fair that every single Super Bowl performance seems to be on a political level, but I also don't listen to other music. I don't listen to country music. I don't know what Morgan Wallen is selling. I don't know what these artists are doing financially with these records. So I don't know if they should be given a Super Bowl spot. But I will say that Bad Bunny given the Super Bowl spot does not warrant the level of outrage that it had. It was a savvy move for the NFL. Extremely savvy move. I'm actually going to play his SNL skit, and I'm going to run really fast and grab the charger to my lap because because I thought it was so funny. I also think that it's a little bit ridiculous how people just, again, get their panties in a bunch about absolutely everything. It should. And go back every time I stream. I have technical difficulties. If you don't know about eugenics, it's a great one. It's one of those things that American history rarely teaches anybody. You have to really learn it for yourself. But if you don't know how ugly your country has been, you probably will be surprised when your country shows itself again and again and again. So eugenics. These trials that were issued actually led to widespread sterilization. So at some point in this country, we thought that these people were less than, and we removed their ability to reproduce. Now, I know a lot of Puerto Ricans with mad kids, so I'm going to say that you didn't win. The W goes to Boricuas. But you tried, and that's really gross. And now we're going to be outraged about this man sharing a stage that so many other Americans have shared. And I would say that Puerto Rico right now has probably earned their presence based on that one bit of information. Let's not talk about our failures during the hurricanes. I know their local government is super corrupt, but let's not act like we haven't failed as at the federal government level either. Okay, so rant on that over. I did have a timeline of how I was going to do this, and I still struggle with coming on these like live streams and being really structured and organized. So like just apologize. I apologize in advance. To wrap this whole thing up, let's just go down like some numbers here, okay? Latinos are 20% of the United States population. Okay. Between the year 2000 and 2020, Latinos accounted for 54% of all population growth. Yes, you could say that there has been a massive globalist agenda and there's all this destabilization in Latin America. Honestly, it's lack of consistent immigration enforcement. It's depending on who's president, depending on the benefits. They love to let people in and then secretly remove them. This president is very vocal and open about what he is doing. I believe he is doing it to fan this hatred and to have a scapegoat on Latinos, where you could remove every single illegal immigrant. And aside from some industries going down, none of the problems in America are going to go. None of them, because we're literally not the problem. The problem is the corruption. The problem is being completely tied into a foreign nation's interests. The problem is Democrats and Republicans are both evil and they serve themselves or the devil. I don't know, but you could probably put money on the devil at this point. But meanwhile, the immigrants, not the Russian and Ukrainian immigrants, the brown ones. That's the one that bother everybody. Those are the criminals, the rapists. I mean, every single one is a criminal and a rapist. Every single one, but not the Russians and the Ukrainians. No, please. Please come into America. We love you. Not these brown people that shake their butts everywhere and listen to tra, 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 tra. Dale, tra, tra, tra. Coño, we're not going anywhere. So, second largest ethnic population in this country. They constantly politicize us. We are absolutely every single bucket. Like, let me show this really fast. If nobody has done this, it is hilarious to me. So I'm going to share the census. Okay. So here you can see the census for the United States. Now let's go. See if I can zoom in here. Okay. All right. You ready, y'all? All right. What is person one's Nope, nope. You got to go to the first question. Hold on. Number 8. Bam. Okay. This is for us Latinos. Okay. We're here, guys. They called on us. Are you ready? Okay. Is person 1 of Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin? No, not of Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin. Yes. Mexican, Mexican American, Chicano. Yes. Puerto Rican. Yes. Cuban. And then. See, those are like top 3, most likely the top most populous nationalities or heritages that come into the U.S. Then we get, yes, another Hispanic. So they mentioned 3 countries, so that leaves 18. So there are 18 countries that I can check that box right there, and that means that I am yes Hispanic of one of 18 countries. Or I could be yes Hispanic but Mexican, or I could be yes Hispanic but Cuban. Okay, so are we confused? Probably. So that's the first box we click, by the way. Okay. Then I'm going to come over here and they're going to say, what is your race? What is your race? You just told me that your ethnicity is a multiracial one. So now I need you to break down what that race is. Okay, cool. So for me, it would be black and white. And I'm looking here and it's like Black or African American. For example, African American, Jamaican, Haitian. Okay, cool. African American. Feel like, okay, cool. So don't know how to do that there. Then you go American Indian or Alaska Native. But question, right? Hey, you ready? Are you all ready for this? American Indian. And then you list Mayan, Aztec. Ooh, does that mean that those Latinos that we love dragging out of the country, that they are Native Americans? Oh my God. But we like Russians and Ukrainians. We don't call them out when they're immigrating to the US, or the Irish at record high numbers. We like them. They were never here historically, but we really like them coming here now. Those are the people we don't complain about. We're going to complain about the other ones. They're really problematic. All right, cool. Then if you don't fit into any of these little 3 buckets that they've given you here, this really simplified version of humanity and what we are, you get to be all of these things. You get to be like a bunch of types of Asian. Okay, cool. Or for all the lefties, you can go ahead and just create the race. Kind of like the pronouns. We just create a race here. And then we just keep going. So my point here is that we have made classifying people a sport in the United States. And because we're all so trained to look at everybody on their differences and not their similarities, we really don't even know how to have a conversation. We don't even know how to react. All we can say is, that guy doesn't look like me, and I want to see someone who looks like me, because I've been told that that's so important. Not equal representation, not being able to see people that represent every bit of diversity in the mosaic that is this country. He has to look like me. Let me tell you something, y'all. I don't know what country singer is so good that you're going to get me hyped up, but please. I haven't, maybe Darius Rucker, I don't know, but Hootie and the Blowfish were phenomenal too. So I don't know, not going to knock the whole genre though, but it's not it. I don't see it. Now, back to Bad Bunny though. His album, Un Verano Sin Ti, was the most streamed album globally in 2022 and in 2023. He won the Grammy for top song, actually. And I might get my first violation here, but this man played a Perico Ripiao, like a merengue Dominican song. And to me, it was huge. He's not Dominican. He just gives so much spotlight to all of our cultures and all the differences within us. And honestly, I think as a Hispanic, I really appreciate Bad Bunny. I wasn't even introduced to him by like people my age. It was like my brother-in-law who's much younger than me. And he was just like, oh, this guy's cool. And I started listening. I'm like, bro, it's really nice to see somebody make reggaeton sound different, because nobody had done that. Like Daddy Yankee, no offense, you weren't doing that. Arcangel was good. What happened to Don Omar? Because he hasn't been out for a long time. Crisis Angel. So there's like all these different artists that have done a really good job. I just don't understand like why it's necessary to be so kind of ridiculous. So I'm going to put here, because I think this was like the cutest thing ever. And again, he plays merengue and everybody talks about it as if merengue was like a bad thing. I gotta share my screen, but I can't because I never do it fast.
And después la playa. And turning
He plays this merengue that's like,
That's how you
damn,
get the
that was gonna be
party
the best Super
started.
Bowl ever.
Bad Bunny opening the 2023
The best
Grammys with
Super
a
Bowl
high energy
ever.
mashup of El Pajon and Después La Playa.
I don't know how
And
you put
turning
it on
LA's
open.
Crypto.com's
I don't get it.
performance look,
What are we
Bad
mad
Bunny made
about?
a fresh white
I want the
tee,
whole
light
performance.
wash
No.
jeans, and a
I
clean
want
pair
to
of
get
white
the
sneaks
copyright.
look fashion forward.
You're a fashion icon. You have the best game.
And the Grammy goes to...
No, it doesn't matter. Okay, I need to do better at teeing my stuff up and getting the actual videos. So, anyways, this was a very random jump on today. I'll cut the video to make it shorter because I know I ranted a bunch, but there were times throughout like my life that Hispanic music got very popular, but it always seemed to be like one artist at a time. Like you don't see these huge, selling Hispanic artists all in one go. So Gloria Estefan from the early 90s, Mark Anthony into the late 90s. Then you had Selena, obviously one of the biggest tragedies in music, even people who didn't even listen to her. And she sang majority in Spanish, even though she didn't even speak Spanish fluently or that well, as she stated. She was Chicana. So, or Tejana, because she was from Texas. I don't think she was from Chicago. So then you had Selena. After Selena, we went a while without anybody. I really think we were so heartbroken. My God, I was like 11 years old. After Selena, we had Aventura, and strangely enough, it was like Noche de Sexo. Aventura got huge. Then Daddy Yankee got huge with Gasolina. Since then, and Mark Anthony was big for a while. He was singing in English. And he started getting a lot of people that way, even though he's also American. I'm trying to think of more. I mean, long story short, we contribute to this country. We contribute to the culture. And honestly, Hispanics contributed to the United States before it was even the United States. I really think we need to tone down the way that we keep talking about each other. I think that we all need to like pause, myself included. Let's be honest. I'm more reactionary than thoughtful in every capacity. We really need to stop talking the way that we do. It's so ugly. I'm starting this journey into understanding like Jesus and the Bible, not Christianity and Catholicism so much, but understanding more the word. And what I'm realizing is that we like to posture and pretend and fake it. We don't seem to actually understand where a lot of our thought processes come from. So much of what we do is reactionary. And we say we're Christian, or we say we're Catholic, or we're Jewish, or we're Muslim. And are we really living that way? Are we speaking that way of people? Because one thing I will say is that we're supposed to all be equal, and we're supposed to all love each other and give each other grace. And I'm not saying I'm only going to give grace to people who look like me or speak the languages that I speak. That's stupid. And I don't really understand why we are in such an ugly place. And I don't see anybody making an effort to get us out of it in the mainstream. Yeah, we have like Candace Owens, who's, trying to solve Charlie Kirk's murder. And thank you for that, because my Lord, it's been heartbreaking seeing the silence. It has been heartbreaking seeing how many people just fall in line like little sheep and listen to exactly what our gutless, spineless government has to say. Whatever lies they spoon feed us, we just listen to it. We watched somebody get assassinated on live TV. We then watched a political rally disguised as a memorial that looked like the Red March during communist Russia, communist China. We seem to keep having imagery of authoritarian governments. And I would have put $1,000 on the left bringing us into a dictatorship. But I really think it's Trump. I think it's going to be Trump or Vance. I'll be shocked if Trump survives this presidency. Just on age and the way he's been behaving seems very neurotic. And JD Vance is young and energetic. His very good friend is going on tour talking about how he's not the Antichrist, which is quite interesting when nobody was calling him the Antichrist. That's weird. So yeah, man, I think that it's an interesting one. This has been rough, and there's some real journalists out there. Tucker Carlson is doing interviews and giving his monologues, and some I tune into, some I don't, but they have been really enlightening and just interesting. And I remember when 60 Minutes used to be good. I feel like Tucker Carlson is the new 60 Minutes. I would have never put money on me actually liking him, but it's very hard to not like somebody who just speaks a version of sense. I mean, pure common sense. He had I'm actually going to quickly show a video of Tucker Carlson, because, we talked about everything that's been happening. We talk about how there's this animosity right now with Bad Bunny. Again, hilarious. But this is the same year that we've had riots due to immigration officials enforcing immigration law, which it's literally the law. No, the rhetoric is disgusting. Alligator Alcatraz is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. And I don't agree with the way we talk about it. I actually kind of wish we would go back to the silent deportations, and the only way you find out is if they're related to you, and that's it. I don't understand why it has to be such a show. But it's a show because it's a distraction, because we're not the problem in America. There was a problem with the border. There was a problem with too many people being allowed to come into the country for whatever reason. It didn't even benefit them. Like, you literally saw historic Hispanics voting for the right. And that will probably continue if economically and opportunity-wise, they succeed. Most Hispanics are not going to care if you're bashing one country in Latin America. We don't fight for each other. We, strangely enough, don't, especially when it comes to Mexico. Probably because of the size of Mexico, probably because Mexico's large enough to be ethnocentric. But Latinos as a whole very rarely unite. And when it comes to immigration, the majority of our countries do not get to walk in to a country. So we have to wait the proper times. Cubans now had to learn what immigration and deportations and stuff look like, because it really wasn't happening during wet foot, dry foot. That's been repealed. Cubans get deported now. Now they understand, but they're still going to vote conservative because to them, the left is so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs that it doesn't even matter. And the minute you say socialist, you lose Cubans and Venezuelans. And that's two populations that are fairly large in the United States. I think Cubans are the second or third largest Hispanic population within the Hispanic population. Obviously, Mexico is the largest. So overall, to me, that was just absolutely hilarious. And then I want to go in here because I think that Tucker Carlson made a very good point on the protests that we've been seeing, and especially the protests in the name of immigrants. Okay? Because I put everything that there is no way. Let me go back here. There's no way that the majority of these people are actually illegal immigrants or even Hispanic to begin with. This is white Americans, entitled, spoiled, little liberals that somehow think if this country burns down, that it's going to give them opportunity or it's going to make their life easier. It's going to make your life worse. You don't want a civil war in this country. You don't want a civil war in this country. I don't think we've ever recovered from the first civil war. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen and put this up, and I'm getting faster. As I said that, I got slower, but no, bam, all right.
Everything else you talk about, trans surgeries, abortion, whatever the topic is, the people promoting it never want you to see what it actually looks like. Just an idea. It's a right. It's a theoretical concept. No one wants to see what it looks like to cut someone's penis off and create a vagina with a knife. That's what it actually is. Our rights in Chicago, what does Chicago actually look like? Here's what it looks like.
Bro, I would take that. I'd want to take that. I'd put money every single one of them as an American citizen. Imagine that you think that you're helping the situation and all you're doing is making it worse for the very people that you think you're helping. You're making it worse. You're making people dislike us. You're making people think that all of us are here to cause rights. Because you see, what the sad thing is that not every American out there is a logical, clear thinking individual. Some people are so formed and shaped by the propaganda and hatred they've been fed their whole lives that it's easier to buy into it than for 1 second to actually try to be a decent human being. During the BLM riots, I told every single friend that I had that all this was going to do was breed more hatred and discrimination towards the very people that they were trying to advocate for. You're not getting anything done. What I'm proud of is that they finally stopped flying the Mexican flag because they realize that that's not getting anybody empathy, that's breeding hatred. And you're really upsetting Latinos who do not agree with what you're doing. And we're quiet for a reason. Most Hispanics support deportations because entering the country illegally delays the legal applicants, the legal application process, guys. It delays it. So what I really liked about what Tucker says here is what's interesting about these videos is the people that are in the videos. He says it better than.
So what's interesting about those videos is who's participating in the rioting and the violence there. There's the normal assortment of unhappy white young people, make up the bulk of Antifa, make up the bulk of the Democratic Party's activist wing, all the little DSA kids, the children of orthodontists from Great Neck who are, reliving the glories of the 60s or whatever, the weird little polyamorous nihilist freaks who don't see any future for themselves economically, so just burn it down. I mean, very, very familiar to anyone who's watched this stuff over the years.
I love
a repulsive group, a dangerous group, a sad group, by the way.
Very sad.
You shouldn't have a lot of young people like that in a functioning country. They should be looking forward to a brighter future, getting married, having kids, doing
It's just live the life you want as an adult. But the Antifa losers, I just don't understand how you think that there is a purpose to what you're doing besides inciting violence, causing a civil war, and one that you will never win. You never win it. How are you going to win it? It's stupid. You don't have the majority on your side. Trump being in office again is literally a response to how crazy that shit has gotten. Just thank you. Thank you for the last 8 years of excessive behavior, of entitlement, of the longest running temper tantrum that anybody historically has seen. Thank you to the liberal left. But I also want to give a special shout out to the right for acting like a bunch of snowflakes who absolutely cannot even hear themselves. How hypocritical have you become? Wow. Okay. So I will leave the Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, everything. I will leave this to Candace Owens because I think she does a much better job of what she's currently doing. And I support her. I pray to God, please, God, please protect Candace Owens. Please protect every single investigative journalist right now who is working their butt off and endangering their life to bring truth and honesty to the American public, because God knows not one person in this government is making an effort, maybe aside from like Massey, who I'm starting to think is performative, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I never thought I'd agree with her on anything. And right now I'm worried for her life too. What times are we living in? What times are we living in? So the reason I jumped on today was reactive. I saw that Turning Point USA, the free speech beacon, the movement that was started by somebody who was not afraid to have uncomfortable conversations or give platform to people that he didn't agree with. I saw him debate everybody, every skin color, every pronoun, every binary, I don't know, all that. Okay. Never saw shutting down, never saw that. So fascinating to me is to see the lovely Turning Point USA. Now let's all be very clear. Turning Point USA has been extremely quiet about the assassination of their founder, the live assassination, the fact that they removed cameras, SD cards, the fact that the crime scene was paved over within 48 hours of the assassination, the fact that nothing about Tyler Robinson adds up, the fact that there was a woman walking with him, the fact that the governor, the wannabe governor of Utah, is extremely suspect in all of the connections that his family seems to have, including the university owning the block where Tyler Robinson was walking. Turning Point USA hasn't asked one question. They took the story and they ran with it almost as if they were relieved. What the hell happened? But let me tell you what Turning Point USA has time for. Let me tell you what they have time for. The corniest, most performative shit I have ever seen. Thank you so much to Turning Point USA for being the snowflakes that your founder worked so hard to break the left out of, that you are now getting into a position where you are actually telling Americans what all American is. All American. Let me break down all American. But first, let me remind everybody, 20% of this country's population is Hispanic. We are Hispanic. 20% of the legal effing population is Hispanic. I'm pissed because I'm really tired. I'm really tired. I make faces. I don't give a crap if I look ugly. I don't care what you think. I don't care. I'll make faces because I'm really tired of people act like Latinos are the shit on a stick in this country, that we have no place other than to clean for you and to be the nondescript, quiet background actors. Disgusting. And this stupid little flyer of theirs just shows exactly what they think. Go here, make it a little bit bigger, hopefully. Actually, I don't even know if it makes it bigger. Let me go back here. Ooh, awesome. Okay, so the All-American halftime show. Because the idea of a Spanish-speaking American performing at the halftime show, even though he had the #1 selling album globally. No. So Turning Point USA, not only are you planning the corniest halftime show ever, you went ahead and asked everybody. So you went ahead and asked all of your little followers, right? Because you don't even know, right? You're planning this event. You already have it scheduled. Where's the second part? Oh God, there's gonna be a million Turning Point USA posts. Guys, can we stop posting so much? Would you support? I just love how freedom of religion only applies to Christians. That makes me laugh. It really only applies to Christians. Okay. I was just there. I was just there. So why are you playing around? All right. Where is the second part of this flyer? Never mind. All right. So I like reading this, right? Because that would be nice. That would be nice to see that, right? Okay. So I want to just flag again the media network that has said nothing that has bought every lie the FBI has told. They have not questioned one part of the narrative. They have the time to put on at the same time, competing halftime show that they're calling the All American show. Bad Bunny's not American. 20% of the United States is not American. We don't deserve to have a musician at the Super Bowl. We deserve to only hear the same 4 corny ass genres of music every single year to exhaustion. Okay, so that's rock, country music, pop. And honestly, like I want to give them credit because like they put hip hop on there, and I know they don't want hip hop. I know that. I know you don't want rap music, and you don't want anybody with any flavor in their food to do anything, because apparently what Turning Point USA has turned into is exactly what I always thought they weren't, which is a white nationalist Christian movement. But hey, let's celebrate faith, family, and freedom, and let's exclude all these people because, like, we're a bunch of children. We take our children's diapers and we put them on so we can pee and poop on ourselves because life is too hard and we're snowflakes. And this is how we're going to act. We're going to go ahead and throw a really corny Super Bowl halftime show. And I hope every single person in the comments who is acting here like this is a good idea, I hope you guys watch that. And I hope it is literally, I really hope that the Turning Point USA show is just a pastor, a dispensationalist who just talks about how Israel is our greatest ally and that we have to sell all of our children for their wars, because that's what Turning Point USA looks like it's becoming. So I have a couple questions for you guys. One, why aren't you questioning the narrative on how your founder got murdered? Why does all your energy go to shit like this? That's not important. It's not Christian to constantly be crapping on other ethnic minorities in the country that you're a part of, that you're supposed to be representative of. And whether you like us or not, we're here and we're not going anywhere. And by 2050, we'll probably be at 30% of the population. So maybe stop acting like you're special, because you're not. Nobody who acts the way that you act is special at all. You're demonic because you keep trying to elevate one group of people over the other. But we're all equal under God. You're not special. You're not making this look good on you. You're destroying Charlie Kirk's legacy, because even I don't think he would have done something so stupid. He probably would have complained about the fact that Bad Bunny spoke Spanish and sang in Spanish. Yeah, he definitely would have complained about that. But to be like, we're going to put a competing Super Bowl event because we are snowflakes, because the minute the cloud releases us, we melt. And finally, maybe this was an economic decision. Maybe the fact that Latin America has 500 million people, and that's not counting the 70 million plus in the United States. Maybe American NFL, who has lost a lot of viewership because of their BS. Yeah, I don't agree with kneeling. I'm gonna go ahead and kneel for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm not gonna honor the country that has allowed me to make $50 million a year literally playing football. Yeah, I don't agree with that. So yeah, maybe the NFL has really lost fans. At this point, I don't listen to anybody on the internet that says what they're gonna do, because not one of them does it. Nobody stands by what they say, it seems like. So I guarantee you they're all going to watch. I cannot wait to see the ratings on this little live stream of theirs, especially being in the last month. I can only imagine how negative the press has gotten towards Turning Point. I can only imagine come February, especially when you have Andrew Colvett, who seems to be the slimiest PR agent ever, always comes out, always has something to say, always says something in these very rosy, flowery terms, no substance behind it, nothing behind his eyes. What are y'all gonna do to actually continue his legacy? Is this it? Putting on little counter events so that the brown people, because the brown people aren't allowed to have the stage, because Bad Bunny speaks Spanish, because Bad Bunny represents 20% of America. And maybe we want to see him on stage. Maybe it would be nice to get representation for once. Yeah, we got Jennifer Lopez and Shakira. Okay, that was cool. In my lifetime, I've seen Jennifer Lopez and Shakira. I don't remember seeing Gloria Estefan on the stage. Bad Bunny. What other Hispanic artists have we had perform at the Super Bowl? Please, Jennifer Lopez and Shakira. Gloria Estefan on the Miami Sound Machine. So in 30 years, we've had 2 Super Bowl performances, and now we get a third, and this is the reaction that we get from our fellow countrymen. Coño, váyanse pa la mierda. Well, everybody, I want to say thank you. If you did jump in, if you left, whatever. I will live stream this weekend. I want to cover Cardi B and Nicki Minaj's beef. I really want to cover their beef because I thought it was so funny. And yeah, I think past that, I'm gonna cover their beef and whatever else comes up. Yeah, and then also I just want to say, kind of like as a wrap up, we need to wake up as a country, as a people, as a race of humans. We really need to wake up. Our sovereignty in this country is at complete and total risk. Our global economy, our global relations are at risk. We are still fighting with each other. Every conversation, every thread, everything seems to be a fight. We absolutely cannot get along. We cannot have a civilized conversation. So wake up, y'all. Wake. Our sovereignty is at risk. Stop fighting with each other. It is not left versus right. It is not white versus black. It is not brown versus black. It is not, oh, the ethnic minorities against the white people with the capital H. It is good versus evil. Good versus evil. If you are evil, I want nothing to do with you. In the name of Jesus Christ, I rebuke you. And if you are good and you are a good person, subscribe. Like, if you're evil, go ahead and like and subscribe too, bro. We're just gonna tell you about yourself when you decide to speak up. We need to push back on every narrative that we're being fed. We need to push back on our government. We need to vote in an informed fashion. We are Americans. This is our rights. Get vocal. Get vocal that we will not tolerate foreign governments influencing our media, our population, our politicians. They're all bought and paid for by one tiny ass country with 9 million people. And most importantly, get control. Most importantly, we need to get vocal about our government facilitating the murder of innocents. How many bodies does this country have in its name, from interventions in Latin America to everything that we've done in the Middle East for Israel, then go into Russia, go into African countries, and we continue to support it. We know better now. 20 years ago, you could say that we were delusional. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have endless resources at our fingertips, but that's not the case anymore. So now we're complicit in it. Most importantly in all of this, get vocal so that no more of our babies, our boys, our girls have to die for these wars that have nothing to do with us. They do not benefit us at all. And yet we will defend, we'll end relationships with people that we love and care about to defend murder, genocide. It's not okay. America first, y'all. It's like a family. You ever remember hating your brother and sister, or being at home and wanting to absolutely rip their heads off, but the minute you got out of the house, you had each other's back? I don't like you at home. I'm not going to let somebody beat you up in the street, because I'm going to get home, I'm going to beat you up. I didn't ever beat anybody up. I was the youngest of brothers. I got beaten up all the time, especially when I started ish, but they always had my back. And I know they never really liked me when I was a kid. It was like a cacata. So America first. Yeah, we fight. We don't let outsiders come in here and destroy us. We don't let people from the inside pit us against each other. I'm talking to you, Turning Point USA. Everybody's watching you. We are really watching to see how you move for the next year to 2 years. I don't think your organization will exist within the next 3 years, because you seem to have taken all the donor money. So we're going to assume that you're going to push the agenda that Charlie did not want to push, and your viewers are not as stupid as you seem to think they are, and they're going to go to other independent journalists, probably Candace Owens. Well, thank you for watching. Always like and subscribe, and hopefully challenge me in the comments. Scream at me. Tell me you don't agree with me. Oh my God, please. I love debating. And I really hope this channel grows and I get to bring some regular viewers, not celebrities, not influencers, a regular person who works at a grocery store for 20 years and can tell me every single interaction that they've had that fascinated them and changed their life. I've had the most amazing conversations lately with people, strangers, and I like it. Got to be open-minded, got to be ready for things. So thank you all for watching, and have a great weekend. Hopefully I see everybody on Sunday.